In this part, we are going to see the Bengal Partition and the Swadeshi Movement. From 1905 to 1918, the freedom struggle was dominated by the extremist leaders. Right at the time when there was a growing resentment among the extremists, Lord Curzon added fuel to the fire by issuing an order for partition of Bengal. The official reason stated was for better administration, but the real reasons were different, as we'll see. So why was Bengal partitioned? Bengal was fast becoming the hub of nationalist movement. Radical press in the form of Sandhya, Yugantar, Bande Matram aroused public opinion against the British government. Bengal also saw the beginning of revolutionary activities. Anushilan Samiti, formed by Pramatho Mitra, Jatindranath Banerjee, Barindra Kumar Ghosh, threatened the British interests. The Home Secretary of Britain warned the British government that Bengal united is a power, Bengal divided will pull in several different ways. So the young Viceroy Lord Curzon, who was focused on strengthening the British rule, sought to partition Bengal and create a communal divide. Let's see how was Bengal partitioned. It was divided into Eastern Bengal and Assam with a population of 31 million and the rest of Bengal with a population of 54 million people. The partition was done in such a way that the Hindu Bengalis were in a minority on both the sides. On the eastern side, Muslims were in a majority, and on the western side, the Bihari and Oriya population was in majority. Important trading districts of Chittagong division went over to the eastern Bengal. This threatened the position of Calcutta. Now let's see the response to the partition of Bengal. The partition of Bengal was effected from October 16, 1905. This day was observed as the day of mourning in Bengal. The partition of Bengal was considered as a national insult by the people of India. The moderates in the Congress continued with their methods and arranged campaigns, meetings and petitions, while the extremists resorted to boycott and propagation of Swadeshi. They also tried to build solidarity through spread of brotherhood. Rabindranath Tagore called for Rakhi Bandhan and Ramendra Sundar Trivedi called for Arandan. The student community of Bengal participated on a large scale in the anti-partition movement. The Congress session of 1905 under the presidency of Gopal Krishna Gokhale declared its support for the Swadeshi movement. The movement soon spread beyond Bengal. Bal Gangadhar Tilak in Maharashtra, Lala Lajpat Rai in Punjab, Sayyid Haider Raza in Delhi and Chidambaram Pillai in Madras strongly opposed the partition and supported the Swadeshi movement. Now the partition of Bengal had affected all the social classes of Bengal. The educated Bengalis were worried about unemployment. Zamindars with their properties on both sides of Bengal were affected. Calcutta lawyers were afraid that a new province would mean another high court which could cut into their practice. Merchants in Calcutta were afraid of rise of Chittagong as the new commercial center. And finally, the Bengali politicians found themselves in minority on both the sides, thus dimming their chances of winning provincial elections for legislative councils. The movement saw an overwhelming mass participation, including women. Muslims too participated in the Swadeshi movement. However, the middle and upper class Muslims either remained neutral or supported the partition plan. The Swadeshi movement was a landmark event in our struggle for independence. So let's see some more details about this movement. The propagation of Swadeshi had begun in 1890s itself. But after the partition, Swadeshi movement took a new leap. Initially, the Swadeshi movement was led by moderate leaders like Surendranath Banerjee and Krishna Kumar Mitra. But growing impatience with these leaders led to the rise of new aggressive leaders like Aurobindo and Bipin Chandra Pal. An important aspect of Swadeshi movement was the emphasis placed on self-reliance or Atma Shakti. In the economic field, Swadeshi meant fostering domestic industries. New industries based on Indian capital were promoted. Pangalakshmi cotton mills and Acharya P.C. Ray's Bengal chemicals are some of the examples. On the education front, a National Council of Education was set up in 1906. A national college with Aurobindo as the principal was opened in Calcutta. Rabindranath Tagore's Shantiniketan was inspired on the similar lines. So what was the response of Britishers to the Swadeshi movement? The Britishers responded with preventing students from participating in the movement, banning of singing Bande Matram in public places, restricting the press, and atrocities committed by the police. This further angered the people. In 1907, Lala Lajpat Rai and Ajit Singh of Punjab were deported. In December 1908, 9 militant leaders of Bengal, including Krishna Kumar Mitra and Ashwini Kumar Dutt, were deported. Tilak was once again arrested and sentenced to 6 years in prison. The government also passed some acts to suppress the movement. The Seditious Meetings Act of 1907 severely restricted the right of holding public meetings. The Explosive Substances Act 1908 prescribed heavy penalty for possession of explosive materials. The Newspaper Act 1908 increased magistrates' control over newspapers. To break the Hindu-Muslim unity, Britishers once again resorted to divide and rule policy, this time with the Morley-Minto reforms of 1909. The British government announced separate electorates for Muslims, thus creating a communal divide among the United Nationalist effort. Separate electorate meant Muslim candidates could only be elected by Muslims. All these things provoked the young militants, and they turned towards revolutionary terrorism. Under these revolutionary terrorists, the movement soon turned from passive resistance to active violence. In the next video, we shall see the growth of revolutionary activities, the Ghadar movement, and the Home Rule League.